It's like these and other warnings of copycat attacks across the country this week are putting a closer eye on those threats and how law enforcement handles them. Our Leah Linscheid has a closer look at what local school districts and their police departments are doing to keep kids safe.
If a school receives a threat, how do they determine whether it's credible? We asked the decision makers in Wisconsin Dells to find out. Brian Landers has been around the block, you could say, coaching countless organizations on how to respond to active shooter situations.
With law enforcement and non-law enforcement, several thousand.
But before that life or death situation comes the threat of one. While there's no tried and true method to weed out false alarms, Landers lays out a set of principles to follow when it comes to assessing that threat.
The first thing to do is, for law enforcement and everybody involved, is take it serious.
No threat can be overlooked, ever. Whether it's a passing comment or a post on social media, officers follow up with everything.
Does this child have prior contact with law enforcement? Are there disciplinary signs or actions that occurred at home or at school? Is there a history with mental illness or crisis?
At that point, all boots are on the ground.
If the threat involves a school, that's their first phone call, often working overnight to determine whether schools should close the next morning. Wisconsin Dells Superintendent Terry Slack says a powerful working relationship with local law enforcement helps them make that decision and aid in the investigation.
Our principals know our students quite well. Our staff know our students quite well. You can also reach out to their pool of friends and learn more, and then we acquire information that they are struggling at times.
But the first step in assessing a threat comes before the threat even happens. Preventative measures in the form of school safety officers and guiding relationships.
These officers are trained to recognize and can often lead to getting those students assistance early on so they don't potentially become violent in the future.
What we've done is try to develop as strong relationships as we can at the teacher, student level, getting to know them and trying to recognize when our students are struggling.
Despite their current efforts here in Wisconsin Dells, school officials say they'd like to see more of a focus on mental health resources for Wisconsin's public schools. In Wisconsin Dells, I'm Leah Linscheid for WISC News 3.